This reading is for Pisces placements during the supermoon, so that can be your Pisces sun, Pisces rising, Pisces moon. I would even say Pisces as your Venus. This reading is more geared toward the energy of the supermoon and the residuals and what that means for Pisces right now. When I was shuffling the deck, this one just flew out. Cut the loss and deal with the aftermath. For Pisces, I feel like what's heightened for Pisces right now is boundaries. And it's about what are you biting your tongue on, and is that something that you really want? Or is that something that's going to bother you and it's going to fester into something bigger later? I think that right now the energy is really forcing you to just deal with what makes you uncomfortable, because it could be way worse later and you don't want to get to that level. So with this card, cut the loss and deal with the aftermath. I think it's forcing you to consider, is it better to have an uncomfortable conversation or later a really uncomfortable fight? A conversation, there's some redemption there. There's some leeway. There's some negotiation. With a fight, it's like survival. So, which is better to have at this time? Fresh start, strong connection with the divine higher power, 000, new beginnings will help you elevate and connect with your higher self. Not all of you, because if you guys are in happy, healthy relationships, then we don't claim that energy. But for some of you that might be dealing with karmic partners or just somebody that you don't want to be with but you can't get yourself to leave, cut the loss and deal with the aftermath is sucking it up, dealing with the pain, and just making the best out of what you have right now, because you don't want it to get worse in the future if that's the trajectory that you're already on. Adding to the uncomfortable conversation versus an unbearable fight, I think that is a consideration you might want to have if you're in a situation that could get worse later. Like while you guys are still on decent terms, do you want to talk about, I don't know, for some people, I think there's always the argument that I hear of like, oh, okay, well, I'm staying with him for the kids. I'm staying with him for the kids. And sometimes it's like, it's so crazy. Like when you ask the kids, like when they get older, they always say like, I wish, so and so would have left him, or I wish mom would have left dad, or I wish dad would have left mom. Something, right? It's like, take a step back and look at the environment. Is this something that's going to be worse later? Like, are you giving trauma to somebody? Is it worth the hassle? Even if you will have to like adjust to new circumstances, is that better than what might be long term or permanent later? So I think just to consider the now versus the later. What is the better outcome, and what might be the better choice for you now, even though it might be the harder choice. And that also might lead you to a new beginning, a new fresh start, and you'll probably thank yourself later. So, like I said, we don't claim that energy if that's not the situation that you're in, Pisces. Um, because I feel like this also has to do with jobs as well. Like, if you are not super into what you're doing, is it better that you restart somewhere else, even if it's entry level, but work your way up? Or how are you going to feel if you stay there for like another 5-10 years and then you still somehow the universe gets you to restart again? Is it better to restart now or later? Just a different thought process to whatever it is that you're dealing with. Law of detachment. By giving up attachment on the outcome, you subdue your ego. Law of detachment. I believe that's from what is it? Seven Spiritual Laws of Success, Deepak Chopra. Interesting book. Um, Law of detachment. For Pisces, I feel like attachment or detachment is one of the hardest things Pisces has to go through, because I feel like Pisces is so intuitive and so deeply emotional and connected that even when they're in an unfavorable situation, let's say a romantic relationship or a friendship, it's really hard for Pisces, I feel like, to exercise their boundaries because they feel their own sadness. And then by telling the other person, like, okay, I don't think I want to be friends anymore, or I don't like it when you say those things to me, or they lay down the law in some regard and it makes the other person feel some type of way. I really feel like Pisces absorbs their sadness. So it's like they don't just go through a heartbreak. It's like they feel the heartbreak for them and the other person. They don't just deal with the end of a friendship. The they deal with the sadness from their end and from their end. I would even say with loss or with death or grieving, that is something that's like really hard for Pisces because it's like they just feel everything around them. They feel everybody's sadness. Um, so that might be something that you might need to look into. I think is detachment is so hard, dude. So, but that might be something that needs to be focused on right now too. It might be what the supermoon is calling for right now. A lesson is not a loss. Okay. Yeah, I mean, altogether for Pisces, I really feel like you're at the end. You're at the end of something. The road has cut off. It's no longer, you're like really at the edge of something, and I feel like Pisces is just wanting for there to be more, but I think the universe is cutting you off. Like it's like at a point where it's no longer for you. Like if you're in a relationship and you're holding on to strands of it, and it's just like, I really feel like the universe is kind of tapping you on the shoulder and being like, okay, like you're done. You have to like start your healing process, start your healing journey. You have to just remove yourself from this because it is consuming you. But also, I feel like Pisces absorbs so much that they feel everything that everybody else is feeling, that it's really hard to exercise caution. It's really hard to lay down boundaries and to be firm about it. So, if you are going through a divorce, a breakup, end of a friendship, end of a career or a job, whatever, this is a lesson for you. It's not a waste of your time. It's not for nothing. It's not whatever it is that you might be thinking of. It's not that. It's you moving to the next thing, but it's you are like this with the situation or like this with the person, like your knuckles are just so clenched that you can't see beyond that person. You can't see beyond the obstacle in front of you. But that's why you need to detach from it, because you got to live life for yourself. Whatever it is that you're going through, good luck with it. Wishing you all the best. And just remember, like, this is the beginning of a new start for you. It's not the end of the world.